instruction, teach your direction, the pace the rhythm. Rasta shade to humble ones in the joy of life. As one feel the invert concept as an invert for this. It have Rasta man as a liar, analyze them journeys. Will advise you for your meditation and meditative. Looking into effectiveness, focus with it. When the prices are skyrocketing, be theory. Them a calculus Saturday in a horse and race. And a poor people rising and the world diminished. And of the whole world I suspect you on a watch list. Like the music institute and the hungry from sins. Them have damage controlling and the broadcasting. Them not sure if they are officially storytelling. Some concerning with the state of their national image. Well, it's not matter than fighting our politics. It's the same who support them evade and evict. World poverty start technique and start sharing. And even the danger them spirit uplift. When this affluence and power is burning chronic. Like the ancient position that the present revisit. Man of vision, social standing in a heap of profit. Like a split out them ball up in a liquid tight clip. Liquid tight clip. 2 or 3 get in his name and promise Jah easy. When his soul thief end up here where them a stand to this. Need your instruction, need your direction, the pace the rhythm. Rasta shape the humble ones in the journey of life. As one feel the invert concept was an invert palace. It have Rasta man as a fire pan a man specialist. Would not price it to your meditation or meditating. What them have it now for do? Nano microbiotech merge man with machine. It already in a...
You hear that? Microbiotech merge man with machine. It's already in the culture. And this song was written 10 years ago. Okay? Maybe even longer. 20, 15 years ago. 12 years ago. Okay? It's called Pawn the Watch List, which is why I'm playing this song for the intro to the video, where I'm telling you why I don't use LED lights. I don't care how much electricity it saves me. I don't care how much efficient it is. And besides the fact that HID, high intensity discharge, which are high pressure sodium and metal halide lights, are far superior in plant growth and vegetative and flowering and vigor. You can't even compare it. You can put a ganja plant under, an LED of the best LEDs, and then you can do a run under that, right? And then you'll go and do a run under either single-ended or double-ended HPS, high-intensity discharge, 600 watt or above, and you're going to get twice the amount of biomass and resin and everything, okay? LEDs suck. They're it's like a TV screen. It's like looking at a TV screen. That's the kind of light it is. It's digital, okay? We're going to get into all this after the song, or I might play 2 songs. I just wanted to say that real quick.
Culture in the way you know them. Man don't know whether it's man or Android speaking. In the human body is done incorporated. All them shuffling in the atoms in the cinematography ring. Which result in the job skin that different entity. It's not everything dropping and dropping up good thing. Well I hope it's not because next station keep them debated. It will run loose chaotic in a half weekend. It don't run loose aggression over resources. And we apply all that mind spin and some problem solving. Problem solving. Let no make no blunder. Earth bringing out the goodness of life. When the harvest is bountiful in recipients, someone's still always on the sufferer side. On the sufferer.
Heaven don't make no blunder. The earth's bringing out the goodness of life. The harvest is bountiful in the recipient's times. Someone is still on the sufferer side. Someone is still on our side. I and I are suffering against this Babylon system, crippling the economy, crippling everything you can do. So heaven doesn't make no blunder. The earth will spring out the goodness of life, and the harvest will be bountiful in the recipient's time on the sufferer's side. So ionized yields are about to go up if you're faithful to Jah. That's a fact.
Heaven don't make no blunder. Earth bring it out the goodness of life. On the sufferer's side, we'll work by the spirit of better times. Eternal bring it on the goodness of life. Let's bring it on the goodness of life. When the harvest is either full in recipient times, someone still always on the sufferer side. On the sufferer side, we'll work on spirit to better times. Determined in crisis to sustain, we survive. Also get creative and identify.
Determined in crisis to sustain and survive. That's a fact. Babylon, you are not going to kill us and knock us off, especially the Rastafari faithful brethren and sisters. So we're going to talk today about why I don't use LED lights and why I refuse to use new tech in general when it comes to grow lights, okay? And a lot of things in general. Not just grow lights and not just growing stuff, but new tech, period, okay? So the first thing to start with this LED thing is that if y'all growers step back for a minute from what's hot and popping and take a bigger picture look, you're not going to be using LEDs, okay? Yeah, the traditional indoor lights that we use that are high intensity discharge, not only are they bigger yielding and better produce better plants, but you know that there's the minus side that they contain mercury. Well, here's the problem here. If you're careful and you recycle your bulbs, you shouldn't have that problem. You should never be breaking a bulb. You should always measure twice, cut once, basically. Make sure your shit is straight so those bulbs aren't breaking in your house. But let's get over to the cons of LEDs over, HIDs. The pros are, for LEDs, everybody already knows, less electricity use. You control the color of the lights, that kind of thing. But really, it's not less electricity used if you want to match up to 600 or 1,000 HPS and metal halides, because you have to use basically the same amount of wattage in LED to match like a Gavita or whatever, okay? Whether double-ended or single-ended, okay? Period. I've seen it with my own eyes, okay? We're going to talk about digital ballast versus magnetic ballast too on the HID and why magnetic ballasts are better, okay? Why the old school tech is better. Once they refined it and got it tuned in, it's perfect. It's not perfect because it's still got mercury in the bulbs, but that's required to produce the color that the light emits, okay? As far as I know. Anyways, the LED lights double as a Wi-Fi station called Li-Fi. Look it up, L-I-F-I, Li-Fi. That can listen to your conversations. It can literally use the light-emitting diode as a camera and look at your crop or you or whatever. Okay, it's a smart device that can be connected to the Internet of Things that emits a horrid frequency in your house that can interfere with your radio, your lights, like as in your regular house lights, your brain, and give you headaches. Okay, let me just tell you this, for example. I've never bought an LED light. I've just been in growers' houses that are using them, okay? When I use a digital ballast, for example, it gives me a headache, okay? Now, Gavita's fixtures don't do that so much because they're super high frequency, whereas my digital ceramic metal halide light is not. And it gives me a headache. And so does my regular 600 digital ballast, okay? Like it's a regular digital 600 watt ballast for HID lights. That gives me a headache. And it makes a horrid noise. That's like high pitched and subtle, but it really gets to you, So that's why I am moving, with the exception of double-ended fixtures of the highest quality, I'm moving to all single-ended magnetic fixtures because, first of all, digital ballasts give me a headache, and so do the lights, okay, when they're run on digital ballasts. When I use magnetic and core and coil ballasts, the way the light, especially on CMHs, ceramic metal halide, when I use an analog core and coil magnetic ballast on a CMH, it looks crystal clear, looks like sunshine on a 31K. When I use a digital CMH ballast, It looks like a computer light. It looks like a TV screen. It looks digital. Okay, so you have to grasp that even with LEDs and digital ballast for HID lights, you're using a digital frequency to produce an analog brightness, an analog light, when it comes to the HID side especially. A digital frequency makes the light look digital, and then it affects people too. Yeah, HPS and metal halides aren't good for people to be looking at and be under all day, but it isn't going to be any better under LEDs, okay? There's protections you can take to protect your eyes and protect yourself from those intense lights. Now, I don't know think about all the growers in the traditional market that are not growing legally or with a license or whatever. They're just growing, and they could get busted for it. They shouldn't be using LEDs. That's a fucking camera source in your house. Wi-Fi, look it up. That's the whole point of LEDs. Is why do you think the whole government tried to try to encourage all Americans to switch all their lights in their house to LEDs? It's not because they want to save the earth. It's because they want to spy on you. It's because they want a brave new world. It's because they want a 1984, y'all. Get it straight. You know what I did? I took every LED out of my fucking house and replaced it with incandescent, because incandescent's better for your health at 31K, 3,000K, okay? Period. And it's not going to, li-fi you and spy on you and camera you. You know what I'm saying? So, traditional market growers should have no reason to use LEDs. Now, people who are growing cannabis legally indoors, so-called legally, okay, which by all rights, cannabis is lawful no matter what the government says or not for natural living men and women who are not under uniform commercial code or maritime or commercial law. It's not illegal. It's not unlawful, period. It's lawful worldwide, and there's nothing they can say to you otherwise, okay? If you know what you're talking about and you know how to stand up for your rights. Either way, point being that if you're putting these LED fixtures in your house, you're getting all kinds of bad frequencies, first of all, for your health. The light is not the same in the positive sense as HID fixtures. Now, if you have a good HID bulb or for HPS or metal halide, it's extremely obvious when you do a side-by-side comparison of LED veg versus an HID veg and an LED flower versus an HID flower. It is bigger, better, vigorous, more resin, okay? Plus, you can use 10K bulbs to finish off, just like those fucking LEDs use that purple spectrum, right? They use that purple spectrum to finish off their plants. Well, you can put a 10,000K metal halide bulb in, okay? So, don't be tricked by all this new tech. All these growers are the first to be scammed, okay? And any grower who's well educated knows this, and they know exactly what I'm saying. As in, you go get a grow magazine, and then they're advertising all this new shit to you don't fucking need, and that isn't good for you or better for your grow. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that they don't make some new shit here and there. That's some killer stuff to use. Good tools, no doubt. But they got y'all. Oh, I'm gonna save energy, but you're gonna get a lower yield with LEDs. So make up your mind. Do you want good, healthy, strong plants that feel like they're in the sunlight, as close as you can make them to be in the sunlight indoors? Or do you want, like your whole grow completely filled with LEDs, which is what LED growers have to do. If they have a big space especially, they need to put in a 12 by 12, they would have to put 10 fixtures up. You see what I'm saying? So what's more expensive? You know what I mean? When you really consider that they're bad for your health, they're spy tech, which is called Li-Fi, which is a camera and listening device in LED lights, even the regular ones you put in your socket for your house. Okay? See what I'm saying here? Growers need to start thinking and standing up for what is right and what is good and what is true and what is based in liberty and freedom. Okay? If you want to be spied on, go ahead and keep using your LEDs. Okay? If you're going to say, well, I got nothing to hide, well, think about the fact it doesn't matter that you have nothing to hide. You're being violated. Okay? What if it's a private conversation between you and your wife about how you want to have sex? Or like whatever. Like anything like that. See what I'm saying? You don't want people listening to your fucking conversations. Take those fucking LEDs out of your house, sell them, or throw them in the trash. Probably most likely the second. Throw them in the trash. Don't sell them to your brother who's going to be a victim to it too. Get rid of that shit. Okay? Plus, like I said, I've seen it with my own eyes. Yields, vegetative flowering. Okay? Biomass, everything is better under HID. Now, if I could, I would be outside and I would never grow inside. Okay? I've been growing inside for 10 years. Okay? At least I'm sick of it. I want to grow outside. I don't want to be under an artificial light, period. Now, that's my sentiment on that, but still, I'm going to be inside until I can get outside. And I ain't using LEDs. I don't care how much the electric bill is. It doesn't make a difference because my yields go down if I use LEDs. Shoot. For example, just check this out. I was in a situation where I didn't have enough lights for my bloom room, and I had to move a fixture, a 600 watt fixture that I had in veg that had a metal halide 64K sun pulse in it, right? I moved that to bloom, and I replaced the sun pulse with the Gavita single-ended HPS 600 watter. Now, the lights that were left in veg was one digital CMH and one analog CMH. And it's as clear as night and day that the minute I took out the 600 watt metal halide sun pulse out of veg, my veg rate went down exponentially. Like as in everything stopped vegging super fast. And it started vegging slower. Okay? And I had to lower the CMHs and put them real close so that they would veg a little better. Okay? So there it is. You're losing canopy penetration immediately when you drop down to 315. Okay? And I love ceramic metal halides. They're great for the amount of wattage that they have, and they're still... I got one on an analog magnetic ballast. That's 315 watt magnetic ballast. You can get those now. Analog magnetic CMH setups. Okay, get one. If you use CMH for veg or whatever, get one of those. Okay, get rid of the digital shit. Okay, because it's like night and day. Okay, so I took that 600 watt metal halide out of there, and boom, my veg just slows down. Okay, and I got two 315s in there. Okay, one on each side of a 5x9 tent. That's not enough light for a veg in a 5x9. Okay, but it's all I had to deal with at the time, and that's what I got. So, you can tell between the digital CMH and the regular CMH that the growth is much more vigorous under the regular analog magnetic ballast CMH than the digital one. So there's that comparison. Okay. And the fact that when I removed the 600 watt bulb, the veg slowed down. Okay, so if I were to replace my CMHs with LED lights, the veg might just stay right where it's at and not be better or worse. Okay, and you would still have to match the wattage for the spread's sake with more LED fixtures than you would with CMH, HPS, or regular metal halide. Okay. Now, it's going to come to a point where they're going to stop making magnetic ballasts and traditional indoor cultivation products, right? They already switched the light posts outside for the sake of saving electricity, like to LEDs. And like if you think of it on a grand scale, you're going to make the argument against me that, well, if you're talking about a city, think about how much wattage that city saves by switching all the street lamps from 1,000 watt metal halides and HPSs to 200 or 300 or 400 watt LED lamps. Well, here's where I come back at you. Well, the LED lamps in the streets, they may save the city a little bit of electric money, but it's causing dis-ease for the citizens that live in those areas and the natural living men and women. The sovereign men and women too, okay, like me. Those LED lights are part of smart tech and the Internet of Things. And they have a weaponized, it seems to be weaponized, gun on it in the inside of it. That's a radiation zapper. As in, it's like, it literally beams the internet, you know, the 5G shit or whatever. It pings or whatever it does. It's smart. So it has a radiation gun on it, is the best way I can say it, that zaps. Okay. Those old lights couldn't do that. Okay. And rarely did you see an old light break like that. You know, like an old 1,000 watt metal halide street lamp. I never saw one of those fuckers break and release mercury on the street. They could leave them up there for 2 years and then they change them. Okay. They change them every 2 or 3 years. So that's how long those old school lamps lasted, and the street lamps. Okay. We're talking this whole nation has been switched over to these LEDs, and then, right, they got everybody thinking they want LED bulbs in their regular sockets in their house. Why is that? Okay? Why did the government push so hard on that? Why did they give a fuck whether we give the electric companies more money or not? Did you think about that question? Because the electric company likes to make money. And the government likes for the electric company to make money. And then y'all believe that they want you to save money? Nah. They don't give a fuck about that. It's about getting these LED lights in your house so that they can zap you, listen to you, and watch you. Okay? So that's why I made this channel, because this conspiracy stuff on my other channel, right, where I talk about nothing but the truth and exposing the government and corruption and all this, right? Everything from Bill Gates to everybody, you know. I expose everybody on my other truther channel. Well, that's why I made this channel, so we can talk grower talk, because this shit leaks over into growers talk, okay? As in, they're trying to screw over growers too, okay? So that's why we talk about this on this channel. It's all part of ganja, okay? Growing ganja indoors and what lights. Well, it's connected to the conspiracy of how they want everybody having LED lights in their house so they can have a Brave New World 1984 situation where your house is your prison. Why do you think they locking everything down and get everybody locked down in their house with their new LED lights? Lockdown, lockdown, lockdown. Shut down all the businesses, destroy the poor people, make the poor poor and the rich richer through this lockdown shit, which is why y'all have to rebel against it. Okay? It's just that simple. Say no, keep your business open, say fuck you. I'm a natural living man, and I ain't consenting to this bullshit. Period. I don't care if you go to jail, I'm going to do the same shit. Okay? You go to jail, then you go to court, and you stand for yourself, and then they let you go because you didn't fucking break the law. The person arresting you broke the law. Okay? You just got to stand your ground. And for all you police out there who ain't standing for the people, you better check your shit, because when we get up to the top, we're going to lock your ass up because you're a rotten cop. Okay? Anyways, there's my little truther rant for this video. Get the LEDs out of your fucking house. Okay? They don't grow good ganja. They ain't good for your eyes. They ain't good for your health. Period. They watching, listening, and spying. Okay? Is that what you want in your grow room? Especially for all y'all in the traditional market that are still hiding away in your crib growing herb secretly. Get the fucking LEDs out. Okay? Period. That's about all I got to say. That's a wrap, pretty much. Maybe I'll do a part 2 where we get into some more in-depth stuff and like look up who brought this to the table and why and how much money was involved and how it's all a bunch of criminals that are connected to the pushing of LED lights on people. as in eugenicists, Nazi criminals that run this country and all the other countries, okay? That'll be the part 2 of this, all right? We're going to end this video with a song from Midnight. And that first song we listened to is called Pawn the Watch List. Exactly. And the song is about the tech and how they're making all this tech to watch us. You hear me? We on the watch list. All Rastafari especially that are faithful. They hate us, Rastas, because we speak the truth. I didn't mean to say spell. We speak the truth no matter what. Okay? We don't care if they're going to harm us. We don't care if they're going to come after us. We're going to tell people who Jah is and what is right and what's wrong, period. Because we got that right, and you ain't going to take us down off of here, Babylon. I gave you an affidavit and notice on my other Truther channel. You are discriminating against Rastafari if you censor me, because you're supposed to, and you shut me down and you said I could never come back to YouTube. Well, here I am with 2 new channels on YouTube anyway. What you going to do about it? Nothing. Because I gave you an affidavit and notice that you're discriminating because you're open to the public. So you can't tell Rastas not to come on here. This is our belief. We religiously, faithfully believe that Babylon is this whole society and it's garbage. So, nah, we ain't having it. So I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. Okay? Period. Alright? Anyways. See, y'all who are new to me, you don't get how many times I've been censored. You don't get how many times YouTube has taken down my channels. Okay, my first 2 channels, guess how many videos there were between the both of them? Over 500, 600 videos. Easy. Probably 700, 800 videos. Gone. Completely gone. Okay? And you know I ain't on here pushing kill people, violence, and none of that shit. I ain't pushing none of that shit. I'm pushing righteousness and truth and do what's right and stand against tyranny. That's it. That's why they shut me down. Okay? So y'all better start waking up, standing up. So we're going to play a track by Von Benjamin. Next video we're going to talk about land races and sativas. We're just going to talk about the nuances of cannabis, okay? Like from land races to new cultivars and what they do, why you need them, and who needs them, and what the reason they need them for, you know, all this kind of stuff. We're just going to talk about ganja. But I just wanted to get this grow light video up. There'll probably be a second one. So I just got to do the research and dig up some info and show you guys that this whole LED thing is not good. Okay? So we're going to play... I'm looking for a track. How about The Earth is the Lord's? That's a good one. And after this track, y'all have a good day and God bless y'all. In the name of Jesus Christos.
Unto the King of Kings. The earth is the Lord and the world is His plan. Universal human fight need consultation. The forces show the force of instant devastation. That mean every moment is precious and useful. Seek sincere action, highest expression. Search out the root of a matter well before you pass to judgment. Again and still the words of the Emperor Abyssinian. Speak to judgment, the world situation solution. First and second class citizens in every nation. Don't you overstand, no man. I can't see that you're the first of Jehovah in a man. Abraham to the 12 tribe in every nation. In it to the big operational, technological. And the groundsman and harvest rasta to everyone. The earth is the Lord's and the world is His plan. Yeah. Critical delineation. I can hear them now. Fine-tuning dialectics, discussing the how. But the how without no is a straight out loud. It's is a straight out loud high official mouth. Resource is the truth in the root of what it's all about. In the first place, they wouldn't be able to suppress such a freedom shout if you hadn't supplied them the arm to a certain data cloud. Always telling with the very important piece about. It's just misses the exportation of weapon was the biggest mouth. Supply the third world disparity with no some gasoline runs out. Overly ambitious lead trying to sweep the world also. Rebellion among friends and allies. Ain't white the house. Calcination and pacification. Purification, they say in kinetic, burn them out. Burn them out. Innocent blood shed from the valley to the alley in the valley. Waiting for a spectacle of sorcerer world transfusion. How them ever speak up to justify some naked aggression? How many details can you sound by feeling? The chairman of the board of water contractor, making sure all the invader invested the thing. Confident desperation in the military wing. The highest general of tactical application reluctant. Knowledge of the danger in the field, urgent caution. Turn around, make it an issue of gender oblivion. With strong preemptive assertion. Whoa, it's like a policy of inverse and they try to overstand simultaneously having a systemic transformation. Socialism is the backbone of the Babel plan. Meritocracy within theocracy, monarchy constitutional. Baba Janai, Baba Pedas and I will publish the righteous goal and focus the eye in I and I to strike. They must step and work in man private big time. A short tactical operation and we narrow it down. They say these are the ideological root of the danger zone. Wish to put any objection as an obstacle out of land and form. Then again, who live by the sword, again die by the sword. See now. Universal human fight need consultation. The forces show the force of instant devastation. That mean every moment is precious and useful. Seek sincerity and action, highest expression. Search out the root of a matter well before you rush to judgment. Again and still the word of the Emperor Abyssinian. Speak to judgment, the world situation solution. First and class citizen in every nation. What don't you overstand no man. I see that say the first and Jehovah in a man. Abraham to the 12 tribe in every nation. Into the big operational technological. And to groundsman and all this last to everyone. The earth is the Lord